The medical bay of the Zenith Arc hummed with the cold efficiency of alien technology. Daniel lay motionless on the biobed, his small chest barely rising beneath the tangle of tubes and monitoring devices. The 7-year-old's face, once bright with curiosity and wonder, had grown pale, and still. Dr. Zelther, the ship's chief medical officer, retracted his scanning appendages with a gesture that conveyed finality across species. The Viridian physician had seen countless deaths in his centuries of practice, but something about this human child's condition troubled him deeply. The toxin has progressed beyond our capacity to treat, Zelther announced to the assembled crew, his translator rendering his clicks and whistles into flat, emotionless standard. His neural pathways are degrading, his cellular structure is collapsing. By all medical standards across 17 known civilizations, the child is beyond saving. Captain Mordax, a towering Krethian warrior whose species had conquered half the known systems, shifted uncomfortably. He had commanded warships through impossible battles, had witnessed the death of stars, but watching a child die felt different. Wrong. There must be something, the captain rumbled. The human sent him here as part of the cultural exchange program. We cannot return him to Earth in a containment pod. The Xyrilium plague affects human biology in ways we cannot predict or counter. Zelther replied, We have consulted the medical databases of 43 species. None have successfully treated a human infected at this stage. I am sorry. The crew began to file out, their various forms of grief manifesting in lowered heads, dim bioluminescence, and somber silence. Only one figure remained in the corridor outside, pressed against the wall. The 12-year-old human girl had been Daniel's assigned companion since they'd boarded the Zenith Arc 3 months ago. While the ship's mission was to explore the Andromeda Rift, the human children were meant to represent Earth's first generation of deep space ambassadors. Anna had taken the role seriously, perhaps too seriously. She'd appointed herself Daniel's protector, his guide, his partner in navigating the strange and wonderful alien vessel. She waited until the medical bay emptied, until even the security monitors cycled to their automatic patterns. Then she slipped inside. Daniel looked so small beneath the alien machinery. The medical bed had been designed for species twice his size, making him appear even more fragile. Anna approached slowly, her worn sneakers silent on the metallic floor. Hey, partner, she whispered, pulling up a stool beside him. The monitors continued their steady decline. Daniel's vital signs, translated into human-readable metrics, painted a grim picture. Anna didn't need medical training to understand what the descending numbers meant. They said you're not going to make it, Anna continued, her voice cracking slightly. They said the science doesn't work, that there's no cure, that you're already gone. She reached out and took his small, cold hand in hers. But they don't know humans like we do, Danny. They don't know what we're made of. She squeezed his hand gently. Remember when we first got here? You were so scared. Cried for 3 days straight, because the gravity felt wrong and the food tasted like metal and you missed your mom. Anna smiled through her tears. But you figured it out. You adapted. That's what humans do, right? We adapt. We survive. We're stubborn like that. The monitors continued their grim countdown. Daniel's breathing grew shallower. Anna leaned closer, her forehead nearly touching his. Listen to me, Daniel. I know you're in there somewhere. I know you can hear me. And I need you to fight. Not for them. Not for the mission. Not for Earth. Fight for me. Fight because we're partners, and partners don't leave each other behind. She felt foolish, talking to what the doctors had called a non-responsive patient, but something deep in her human intuition, something inherited from millions of years of survival against impossible odds, told her to keep going. Stay with me, partner, Anna whispered fiercely. Just stay. For a long moment, nothing happened. The medical bay remained silent except for the rhythm of machines and the distant hum of the ship's engines. Then, almost imperceptibly, Daniel's fingers twitched. Anna gasped, gripping his hand tighter. Danny, can you hear me? Another twitch. Then his eyelids fluttered. The monitors began to chime not in alarm, but in confusion. The descending vital signs had stopped their decline. More than that, They were stabilizing. Dr. Zelther burst through the doors, summoned by the automated alert. He rushed to the displays, his multiple eyes widening in disbelief. Impossible, he breathed. His neural activity is increasing. His cellular regeneration has activated. The doctor turned to Anna, scanning her with his medical sensors. What did you do? Anna didn't look away from Daniel. I just reminded him who he is. Over the next hour, the medical bay filled with crew members, all witnessing something their databases said couldn't happen. Daniel's condition didn't just stabilize, it improved. The Xyrillian toxin, which had been systematically destroying his body, began to break down. His immune system, which had seemed utterly overwhelmed, rallied with unprecedented ferocity. By the time Daniel's eyes finally opened fully, the entire command crew had gathered. Anna, he whispered hoarsely. I'm here, partner, she said, tears streaming down her face. I'm right here. Captain Mordax watched the scene with wonder. In his 300 years of military service, he had learned to respect human combat prowess, their tactical ingenuity, their technological adaptability. But this was different. This was something deeper, something his species had perhaps forgotten in their millennia of advanced civilization. Humans didn't just survive through superior firepower or advanced medicine. They survived through connection, through loyalty, through sheer stubborn refusal to let go of those they loved. Dr. Zelther frantically documented every reading, knowing that this case would revolutionize xenobiology. The child's will to survive, triggered by emotional stimulus, somehow activated dormant cellular mechanisms we didn't know humans possessed. He murmured into his recorder. Remarkable, unprecedented, utterly human. 3 days later, Daniel sat up in bed, weak but recovering. Anna hadn't left his side. They said I was supposed to die, Daniel said quietly. Anna grinned. Yeah, well, when have we ever done what we're supposed to do? Daniel managed a small laugh, then reached out his hand. Anna took it, and they performed their secret handshake, the one they'd invented on their first day aboard, the one that sealed their partnership. Outside, the stars of Andromeda stretched endlessly, indifferent to the small miracle that had occurred aboard the Zenith Ark. But for the crew, especially those who had witnessed it, they had learned something profound about the species called humanity. They could be killed, they could be wounded, they could face impossible odds, but they could not be made to abandon each other. And sometimes, that made all the difference.